Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Revoltech Danboard Mini. Everything that you liked about the larger Revoltech Danboard in smaller scale. This comes to us from the folks over at Revoltech. This also comes to us from the folks over at Cheero, as this is a Cheero Revoltech Danboard. Box is roughly about the same as what we saw before. Also the same similar packaging here as the external battery that we've also had a look at. I do, though, love the fact that the box looks like a big cardboard moving box. That's a really, really nice touch. Visible on the front is the Danboard Mini inside. And certainly when we get this opened up, Spot's also going to do a comparison between this and then the standard size Danboard. Because there is a difference between, surprisingly enough, there is a big difference between how big this guy is versus the regular one. Having said that, Spot's going to take a break and get this guy opened up. When we come back, we're going to get a better look. Whoops! We're going to get a better look at the Revoltech Danboard Mini collectible figure. There's more anyway, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. With the Revoltech Danboard Mini out of packaging, it's essentially the same style. It's pretty much the exact same style as the larger standard Revoltech Danboard. The only difference is just really small. He does have a peg hole on the underside of his foot and does come included with a Cheero display stand. So you just peg into his foot. Peg it into his foot. There we go. And you can display him like that. The one thing as well with the Mini that also had the larger version included is if you unpeg the head, just put that to the side, there's a little plastic pull tab in there. You just pull that out, pop the head back on, and you can hit the switch and his eyes light up, if you guys can see there. He still retains all the same articulation as you would with a standard Revoltech body, but I do like the fact that he has light up eyes. So there you have Revoltech Mini. By a scale comparison, as Spot had promised he was going to do this. Bring the camera back a little bit. Reaching off camera, we have the regular Danboard, Revoltech Danboard. Scale-wise, I should say proportionately, they're about the same. I feel like the Revoltech standard, the standard size Revoltech Danboard, his torso seems like it's a little bit longer than this one right here. It could just also be the fact that I have the head pointed down on the Danboard Mini, but you can see the differences between the two. That cardboard box design of Danboard, I just love. I don't know what it is. There's just something about him I really dig. The one thing too that the smaller version of Revoltech Mini doesn't include is the interchangeable head for Danboard. Whereas this one here, you can unpeg the head like that, and then you could peg the human head, the unboxed head there instead. The Mini doesn't have that, but much like the larger one had the light up eyes, and as we've already looked at, the smaller has light up eyes. The eyes, brightness wise, this one has like an orangey film of plastic over top of the eyes that kind of give it a softer color, whereas this one seems like the eyes are a lot brighter. This one also has 10,400 milliampere hours listed at the bottom corner. This one has 6,000 milliampere hours. And we just turn these off. In the way of his articulation, it's, again, pretty much exactly the same as this guy, just on a smaller scale. His articulation includes all the Revoltech joints, the very famous Revoltech joints on the head. He does have a Revoltech joint on the arms. So essentially, he has a peg socket in his arm, peg socket in his shoulder, that allow a lot of movement that way. And then there's a hinge that allow the shoulders. You can see too, there's a section on the shoulders that they've attached to the peg. So when you rotate it, it also rotates that piece as well. Legs have a little more restriction because he's got the bottom of the cardboard flaps open. It limits a little more movement there, but you can still get a little bit of movement. Like you can kind of still have him in a walking position, which is probably how I'm going to have him displayed. Just kind of walking along, maybe looking over at me. Hey, how you doing, fella? Yeah, I do really like this. I guess it's a shame he doesn't come with the unmasked head that you could have swapped out here. I mean, you could, I guess theoretically, you could be funny. You could put the human head on there, but I mean, it would be extremely too big for the body. So I would just leave the regular box head on there and just get that joint like that. Good comparison as well, as I wave my hands around, depending on your size. How much space do you have to accommodate? These guys, you know what I'm going to say, these guys are perfect for like an office desk, especially if you work in a cardboard box factory. I would love so much if somebody who works at a cardboard box factory works there and watches these videos, and let me know down below. Is it as exciting as I think it would be working at a cardboard box factory? But, I mean, if you had something that you wanted to put on your desk, these guys would be perfect for that. A little bit bigger, the regular one, if you have the space. Or if you want something a little more compact, you could also go with the mini. The light up eyes are also a beautiful touch. Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the Cheero Danboard Revoltech Mini. Everything you liked about this guy, just a little bit smaller. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. Thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you guys next time.